So good day everyone. My name is Martin John P. Magallanes. So today, together with my group mates, we're going to present and discuss our research outline proposal entitled Life Course Criminology: How Life Events Influence Criminology Student Activities in an Online Classroom Context. So let's start with the introduction. Background and rationale. Life events are defined as a variety of life events in transition, both expected and unforeseen, that naturally influence and shape our lives in the leisure we choice we make. According to Seleni 2021, predicts that significantly more virtual learning research will be conducted after the epidemic. For the time being, college teachers and administrators should recognize that online students may be less prepared for follow-on classes, lower GPAs or grade point average, complete fewer courses, and learn less overall than in-person cohorts in prior years. The situation is so we all know back in 2020, Philippines faced a pandemic, which is the COVID-19. It shaken up the foundation of our educational system. This situation is unexpected that it has the potential to magnify the difficulties encountered during online classroom as a result of movement limits and health measures. Majority of the people are affected, particularly workers, employees, and students. During the pandemic, approximately 75% of college students stated their lives had become more difficult and learning objectives would be more difficult to achieve as a result of the sudden shift to online classrooms after due to pandemic. We choose the study because previous study is virtually little evidence that student performance is linked to events in their life. There's also insufficient information about the student body life events, particularly those who fail to achieve academic progress. When the nature of the difficulties faced by student body is unknown, although being technically familiar, it is difficult to suggest appropriate answer if we want to increase student support. We need a better data. We researchers need that information on students who have experienced life events but help them way and don't harm their education. Now, therefore, the purpose of this research is to of our research is to determine the impact of such life events on the academic performance of activities and criminology students in an online classroom context. In the end of the study, this will provide results to the student teachers and the school administration that would significantly benefit from this study. This could be a basis for them to be able to know the level of understanding and social capability of student in her institution. Could assist the teacher in determining the level of her teaching capabilities so that he or she can adjust her teaching strategies and develop methods that are appropriate to the level of her life events. Influence University of Mindanao Criminology students. It might be used to the student to better their activities in online classroom setting, and students will be able to use the information acquired to better their academic performance. Next is the relevant literature. So these are the relevant literature we gathered during our study. According to Lin Ping Hu and Yao Xing Li, students in higher education are distinctive groups since they are the key period of their life as they prepare to enter society and claim that they will be under the burden of both working and attending school during this time. In 2015, Maxfield stated in his book that death of a loved one, breakups, bereavement, and illness or injury are some of the reasons for student poor performance. Simpson added that for several college students, their academic studies is a lifeline, something that upholds them when the rest of their lives are in the period of distressing situation. However, when the pandemic struck, distance education became a need. Several universities considered it an alternative. Just happened to be physically separated from an instructor, virtual teachers must progress to learner-centered instruction due to the nature of distance education as learner instruction. In addition, pardon, I post software. In comparison to the preceding generation, technology breakthroughs in the past years have provided millennial generations with a substantial amount of options. In addition to analysis and context, online education delivery has been observed as critical means of meeting the heightened demand for higher education, numerous nations with rural populations. Next. Lastly, based on Austin theory of engagement, suggests that students learn more when they are involved in many academic and social components of the college experience. Was used in early studies in college student outcome. In other words, the more students participate in academic activities, campus events, or connect with instructor, the more skills and confidence they gain to complete their education.
So good day every day, ma'am. My name is Jara M. Hapitan. So I will be discussing urgency and gap. So for this research, we need to know their life their their specific life events in the in criminology students while they studying online classroom, and whether they not feel that they are not pleased to see them, and those students who cannot tell what they are going to do or how they going to behave. And also, we need to know their academic performance in the online setting classroom in every criminology. This that criminology student, we need to know also their life events that might various meaning in each student. So next slide, me. So for the scope and delimitation, we focus on the criminology student only that enroll in academic year 2022 and 2023 student. The students of the criminology department in the University of Mindanao that age of 18 to 25 years old, that will be our respondent. Also, the participants will be picked randomly that base their previous life experience as a criminology students. So next slide.
Mas kasi
So
ganun.
for the statement of the problem, specifically this study solved to the answer the following questions. So number one, what are the common life events of the students which significantly affect activity in an online class? 1.1, death of a loved ones. 1.2, endless and injury. 1.3, job loss. 1.4, behaviorment. Number 2 question, does the identify life events of the students particularly affects their performance in an online class setup? So number 3, how students cope up with their experience life events while they studying in an online classroom setting. So number 3 is, so next slide, me. So last the objective of the study objective of this study. The study objective of this is generally determined and how identify life events influence of the University of Mindanao criminology students activity in an online classroom context. So this study will show how the criminology student conduct themselves an online classroom setting while dealing with the life situation.
For the methodology section, this research used descriptive correlational design of the research in the conduct of the study. The questionnaires will be distributed to the responders after thoroughly explaining the purpose and the goal of this study and were done from the answer to determine first, What are the life events in their life that affect their academic performance in an online setting classroom? Second, which indicator among the 5 factors has the highest impact of the life events on the criminology students' performance? Third, what are the coping mechanisms used to eventually come up with these life events? Furthermore, requests for cooperation and assurance that all information gathered will be treated strictly and confidentiality. The researcher will request approval from our research advisor to conduct a survey. A letter of approval will be sent to ask permission enabling to allow an online survey, and the necessary data will be collected through a series of questions that will be asked provided in the questionnaires. Afterward, the necessary data gathered will be encoded and computed for data processing. The respondents of this study will come from first year to fourth year level criminology students from the University of Mindanao. All of them will be targeted as student participants and will be given an online survey questionnaires to complete the key information. The instrument used in a The instrument used in this study is a structured survey questionnaire, a questionnaire that comprises the information that data needed to address the objective of the study. The questionnaire that will be formulated is intended for the researcher to answer the questions raised in the study. The reason for this is to gather important information from the key informants and to avoid any confusions. The questions is answerable by strongly agree, agree, neither disagree, disagree, or strongly disagree, that all respondents can answer.